supertalk.fm. We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. But don't forget, you can watch us too. We're on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. Now, you know we get behind spreading Mississippi's most positive stories here on Good Things, and we support anyone else that's doing that. Joining us today is Meredith. She's the content director of Our Mississippi Home blog site, and they're putting out some good stuff. So welcome, Meredith.
Hey, Rebecca. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
It's good to have you on, and it's good to let people know that there are good stories on the internet. Obviously, when we are over on the webs, we don't always see the best of things. So anytime that we can, spread a little good, it's particularly about our state, I think that's a good thing. So how long, or give us a little bit of the origin of how Our Mississippi Home blog site came about.
Yes, absolutely. So some people might find it interesting to know that Our Mississippi Home actually began as Jack's Co. for Jackson County Home on the coast. It was a project between Chevron and an ad agency in Ocean Springs that Jamie Foster, who's the owner and publisher of Our Mississippi Home, was brought in to help with. Jackson County Home and Chevron underwrote the website for that to happen. And the idea there was to build a good news community website for Jackson County, where, things that were happening that were positive could be spotlighted, community members could submit stories. And so Jamie began by hiring some former Mississippi press writers. It took off, but it became pretty obvious pretty quickly that this was a need for the whole state, not just Jackson County. There's a lot of great things happening in Jackson County, but, the feedback was, we really want this for all of Mississippi. And so Our Mississippi Home was born. Chevron is still our major flagship for Our Mississippi Home, and they're very community-minded. They give back all the time. So what greater gift than to provide, good news daily statewide.
Right, and I think, even here on Good Things, we find those are on the Good Things Facebook group. You see great, stories that are kind of all around, but it's hard to corral them all sort of in one place where people can go and kind of get their daily dose of good, I think you call it. We obviously feel that here on the radio, or hope we do, or have for the last almost 8 years now. And I love, Meredith, that it sounds like that folks were asking for it, because I say all the time, you'd be surprised how many people enjoy not hearing about news, politics, or sports all the time. There really is a market out there for what, people who have a heart here in Mississippi or have, come up with new things. So when you started to, or when the site started to spread sort of statewide, was there a specific focus or boundaries you guys sort of stuck with in terms of, because you can really go anywhere when it comes to things or places to do or people or interesting people?
Sure. So obviously the focus is positive. We are good news all day, every day. We fill that niche just like you do as well. I think what's really unique about Our Mississippi Home is that we are definitely tourism friendly, and we want to promote our state. And, there's the wacky, the weird, the unusual things that people want to learn about, the hidden gems. But we really feel like our greatest asset is our people and our culture, and you can't have one without the other, And so we really love to focus on all of the wonderful things people throughout the state are doing. Sometimes they're the people you already know about in the news, and a lot of times it's people we wouldn't otherwise know about unless we were telling their stories. And those are my favorites, because there's so many people doing things in every pocket of our state that are incredible.
And I think that their stories should be told in multiple different places and ways as well. Anytime, it's one of the things that brings me such joy here, Meredith, is just having a platform where folks can hear about all these incredible stories and meet these people they may otherwise have not, even if it's just a semi-viral, story that went on Facebook, and even if it caught a little bit of traction, it didn't catch the whole state. And so being able to share those things, with more people is always a good thing. And you have interesting writers too. You guys aren't just a party of one. Like some others that just stick to one specific blog site. You opened it up for people all over the state to contribute where they're at. Was that intentional, or how did the who's contributing come about?
So I think a little bit of both. So of course, starting out, a lot of writers were on the coast because it was originally, a coast-based publication. And so we have writers on the coast, but then through time, we have writers all over the state because, some inquired, they were interested in writing for us. Others were, maybe somebody was writing for Our Mississippi Home and they had another friend who, said, well, that's really wonderful. I would be interested in doing that. And so over time, we've collected this team of writers who are just fantastic. We have such a wide range of talented and diverse writers, from young college graduates to retired educators and attorneys, talk show hosts. We have renowned novelists, former Mississippi press writers, of course, and we have a nationally recognized food columnist. And so it's a very diverse team of talented writers, but my favorite thing is the one thing we all have in common is that we all live in Mississippi and we all love Mississippi. So it makes for really wonderful and organic content.
I'm sure everybody loves their state, but I don't think they love their state like Mississippians do. I mean, even if you have like a love-hate relationship with her in certain like aspects or whatever it may be, there's just so much pride that folks tend to have about their region, whether it's culturally or just the cuisine where they come. Because even though we're all one big family, it's divided up into these smaller, different, very unique communities that the state can sort of split into. And I think we're greater when we all know a little bit more about each other and can sort of appreciate that in terms of but also take pride in what makes our unique area a little bit different.
Yes, definitely. And there's that joke that there's different Mississippis because you have the coast region, the Delta region, North Mississippi, and so I think it's really wonderful for different people throughout the state can learn about things that are happening in different communities and regions, like you said.
What are some of your favorite stories, Meredith? I don't know how long you've been with the blog site, but long enough that you've probably seen a lot of good headlines. And how good for you. Every day you wake up, that's all you have to worry about are good topics in Mississippi like I do. I consider it a huge privilege. But what are some that stand out that if folks visited Our Mississippi Home they may find?
It is a huge privilege. I've been with Our Mississippi Home for 4 years. And, like you, there's so many good stories. It's kind of hard to pick from. You're just so proud of all the things that people are doing or, small businesses, communities, whatever it may be. I love that there's intention behind each story and, lifting someone or something or some community. I think a story that I love that comes to mind is a story about a fry cook down at Bozo's Grocery in Pascagoula. He's become famous over the last 20 years. His name is Lincoln, but his origin story is that he came from New York. He moved to Mississippi. Well, he visited Mississippi in 2004 and never went back. So I guess he moved here in 2004 too. He worked for FEMA and he was even homeless for a little while. And the owner of Bozo's Grocery offered him a position, got him back on his feet, and of course he's been there ever since. And he is such a fantastic fry cook that people come from all over the coast, but also other countries and states in our country, and they ask for Lincoln. They want to make sure Lincoln's there and he's cooking. And so it just kind of changed the trajectory of his life. And that's a story that, not everybody would know unless you told it, but it's the kind of story that needs to be told because it inspires so many people.
Would that story be up, Meredith, if folks went to Our Mississippi Home to read more about him?
Yes, absolutely. It's on there.
And I know you guys, too, have a great newsletter. I feel like it's hard to keep up with all the good things or just all the things, to be honest. And sometimes,
all the things, yes.
All the things. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a reminder.
Yeah. It comes out every week, and it is free. They can subscribe, and it just recaps the good news of the week. So thank you for mentioning that.
And I feel like
it's hard to keep up.
There's people who are advocates for their own communities who also have that ability to write. Maybe they're not doing it for a living or anything of that nature. If someone wanted to submit something or maybe recommend one of the good things in their area, do y'all have a way for folks to do that?
Yes, absolutely. And that's actually one of my favorite things. We have people that they'll go to the website. There's a place where they can submit information, or they can even reach out on social media. We have that happen a lot as well. And they'll say, hey, this child in our community just did this wonderful project. You should do a story on them. Or, I would be interested in submitting a piece of content. There's a wide range, but people love to read good news, and they love for, people in their community to be recognized. And so absolutely reach out with that information.
All righty. What's the blog site? What's the website?
OurOurmshome.com.
Alrighty, and
And
also
we're on social media too.
alrighty, and sign up for that free newsletter. Meredith, I appreciate all that y'all are doing and for your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca. Good to talk to you.
Alrighty, you guys stick with us. We got more for you.